Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to wiseman.travel. This is a different kind of a video. Most of the times you see me recording, showing you the GoPro footages sitting on a motorcycle. I recently visited Bhutan and I thought of sharing some of the experiences of my journey and also some of the things that you might have to consider before visiting Bhutan. Post-COVID, Bhutan recently opened for tourists across all the world just about 3 months back. I thought of making this short video which can be helpful for you if you are planning to visit Bhutan in any near future. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So how to reach Bhutan? We can reach Bhutan by air. Yes, Bhutan do have an international airport located in Paro city. You can take a direct flight from Delhi if you're visiting from India. It is one of the expensive ways to reach Bhutan because there are only 2 airlines operating in Bhutan. Typical ticket from Delhi to Paro city cost you more than 40,000 and it's for economy, not for business class. Now let's talk about reaching Bhutan by road or by rail. We have to reach a place called Jaigaon, which is India-Bhutan border, situated next to the immigration office of Bhutan. The nearest railway station to Jaigaon is called Hasimara Airport, located in West Bengal. That is about 15 kilometers from Jaigaon. So once you reach Hasimara railway station, from there you can either take a private cab or a shared cab or an auto rickshaw to reach Jaigaon. And the last way and the most preferred way is to take a flight to Siliguri, which is in West Bengal, and the airport name is Bagdogra Airport. It is an important airport that connects India to its northeast part of India or to Nepal or to Bhutan. It has borders with Nepal, Bhutan, Assam and Sikkim, and it's very near to Bangladesh also. From Bagdogra, Jaigaon is about 150 odd kilometers. This is the most preferred way which a lot of people follow. They take a flight to Bagdogra and from there they take a private cab or a shared cab to Jaigaon, which is easiest, fastest and cheapest way to reach Jaigaon. So if you are lucky, if you are coming with a group of friends, you can always share the price, or if you are coming solo, if you are traveling solo, then if you are lucky you might get a shared cab also. I will share some of the contact details in the description. Do check it out. They might be able to help you with the cab services. Now that we have reached Bhutan, what are some of the documents that we have to carry if you are coming from India especially? So similar to Nepal, Bhutan does not require any additional visa for Indians. Any Indian who has a valid passport or voter ID can enter Bhutan. This is for people who are not taking their own motorcycles or vehicles. And for people who are taking their bike or any vehicle to Bhutan, they have to carry respective documents of their vehicles, things like original DL, RC, insurance of the bike, which should not be expiring anytime soon. Now comes the most interesting part, that is the fees. These rules have been changed drastically over the past few years. Before it was very easy to get into Bhutan. It was very cheap also. Since Bhutan promotes high value, low volume tourism, it is sort of expensive right now. Let's talk about different fees that you have to pay. Any tourist who is entering Bhutan from India has to pay SDF fees, Sustainability Development Fees, which is about 1200 per night. So let's say you are staying in Bhutan for 4 nights. You have to pay 4 times 1200, that is 4800 rupees. The second type of fees is mostly the travel insurance that you have to buy. The basic one starts from 499 and the last fees is where it gets little bit tricky. Hey, I want to go to Bhutan, but because of this reason it's holding me back. The same happened to me and my friend Rajesh also. This is something which is little bit on the expensive side. So people who are taking their motorcycle, who wants to ride their motorcycle in Bhutan, or people who likes to take their own car or taxi or whatnot from India, right? So any vehicle which is India registered, you have to pay a fees for your vehicle, which is about 4,500 freaking rupees per day.
Oh my god.
Now let's talk about some of the important rules for visiting Bhutan. You have to hire a guide compulsory from Bhutan. So there are a lot of travel companies or travel agents in Bhutan. So you have to contact them and get any guide. So getting a guide is mandatory for Bhutan. Depending upon your package or depending upon whether you're taking a bike trip or just a cultural trip, a guide will charge you somewhere between 1200 to 2000 per day. So apart from guide, you have to hire a backup vehicle. Let's say you're taking a motorcycle, you're going for a biking trip. You can't just enter like that without a backup vehicle. So you have to hire a backup vehicle. This is where it gets really expensive if you want to do a motorcycle tour in Bhutan. And the backup vehicle might cost you somewhere between 3500 to 5000 bucks depending upon which package or agent that you prefer. Stay tuned, let's see whether it is worth it or not. Let's all list it down. What are the things? The only difference between people taking their own vehicle and people that don't is the 4500 bucks that people have to pay additionally for their own vehicles. So now let's calculate how much it can be per night. STF 1200, insurance, that is one time 499, 4500 per day charges for your vehicle if you're taking it. If you're not taking it, then just subtract it. Backup vehicle, let's assume 4000 per day, and guide 1500 per day. Any tourist that is going to Bhutan from India or anywhere has to book a hotel which is at least a 3-star hotel, so which might roughly cost about 2000 rupees per night. So adding this amount, it can cost you about 13 to 14,000 per night that you stay in Bhutan if you are traveling solo. This is for people who travel solo and bring their own vehicle. And people who don't bring their own vehicle, it can be around 9,000 to 10,000 per night. So it's better to come along with a group, at least 2 to 3 people, so that the hotel cost and the backup vehicle cost, tour guide cost can be divided among themselves. So just before moving into the next part, for people who like to travel on motorcycles and don't want to get their own motorcycle all the way from whichever part of India they might be staying, you can always go and hire the motorcycle directly from Bhutan. But I went to Bhutan and rented the motorcycle. That way you don't have to pay the 4500 fees per day that you pay for any vehicle that is not Bhutan registered. So I rented the Royal Enfield Himalayan from Bhutan itself. I didn't have to pay 4500 rupees, but I have to pay the bike's rent, which is double the price than India. So I paid about 3000 to 3500 rupees per day for the motorcycle. So end of the day, net it boils down to the same amount. If you're going with your motorcycle or if you're going there and riding a motorcycle, you might just save about 1,000 bucks if you're renting in Bhutan. So moving on to next, the most interesting part about experience, right? I mean, we have paid so much of fees and so much of rules, regulations. What about the experience in Bhutan? This is where it gets exciting, because Bhutan, for any biker out there, or in general for anyone, it is one of the beautiful places. It is one of the happiest countries across the world and #1 happiest country of Asia. So I'll be mostly talking from a biker's point of view. Bhutan is heaven for bikers, I would say, because we had a very good experience right from day one. Before we started the ride, we were a bit hesitant about the amount that we had to pay to come here and ride the motorcycle in Bhutan. But end of day one, it was really worth it. That experience, freedom that you get in Bhutan to ride, and the beautiful landscape riding among the Himalayan mountains of Bhutan, nothing can get more interesting than that. And you get those endless curves where you can corner, and if you love cornering, then Bhutan is the best place to do that. And you also get to see some beautiful looking landscapes as you cross different parts of Bhutan, where you literally ride above the clouds. Finsuling to Thimphu was one of the best rides of my life. Definitely recommend for people who want to do bike ride in Bhutan. You have to go check out my Bhutan vlogs to see what it was to ride in Bhutan. And adding on to that, since Bhutan promotes high value, low volume tourism, so you don't see so much of crowd in Bhutan as you see in rest of the other tourist place. The people, the culture, the discipline, that you definitely feel like you are in a different country. So although we visited central part and western part of Bhutan, I heard there are some really good landscapes towards eastern part of Bhutan and northern part of Bhutan. So it feels like Switzerland or New Zealand kind of a place. It's talking about the language. Although they have their own local language, Bhutanese language, Bhutan people are very much comfortable talking in Hindi or English. Now, talking about food, if you are a person who likes to try out local food and something new, Bhutan has very good cuisine. It is mainly influenced by India and Chinese cuisines, but they also have their own local food like yamadachi and jambula, which is their local chow mein, which was really good. They really have very good food options in both for vegetarians and non-vegetarians. And if you are a pure vegetarian, and then also it is absolutely fine, because you can literally get dal, roti, sabji like puri bhaji, parota. All these are readily available in Bhutan. Now let's talk about the connectivity in Bhutan, and what about SIM and internet. Since tourists are booking 3-star and above hotels, every hotel has good Wi-Fi connectivity. Especially in Thimphu, it was very good for us as compared to Punakha or Paro. But you get some decent network in all the hotels that you stay in Bhutan. And if you want to buy local SIM, it's recommended to buy from the immigration office itself at the start, where you get your documents done, because it's free of cost, and also you can get it recharged or top up similar to how you do for your Indian SIM. So it is not mandatory to buy a local SIM unless you want internet 24/7. Tour guides and the backup vehicle drivers are very helpful in Bhutan. Let's say you want to make some phone calls, you can ask them to switch on their hotspot, or you can use their mobile directly. That is one trick. And let's talk about currency, last part. So unlike Nepal, in Bhutan also they accept Indian currency, because both Indian and Bhutanese currencies are almost same. So end of the trip, if you are having some good amount of Bhutanese notes, you might have to exchange it at Jaigaon itself, because beyond that, Bhutanese currency is not valid in India. So I think it's time to end this video here, because it's getting really long. Just a closing notes. If you are planning to visit Bhutan, although yes, it is expensive, very expensive compared to something like Nepal, but is it really worth it? Yes, of course. And if you are a biker, definitely worth it. You can check out my vlogs, and I can say that it was one of the very good places to ride a motorcycle. And I would highly recommend TEEM Travel Bhutan, through which we had booked the tour package. So they were very good and economical for us. So we had a biking trip of 5 nights and 6 days. If you are looking for a biking trip in Bhutan and looking for an economical package, I will share the contact details somewhere here in the image or in the description below. You can contact Sharma ji, who can help you. We had a very good experience with TEEM Travel Bhutan. Our guide Purna was very friendly and helpful. So with that, it's time to say goodbye. I hope you'll check out my Bhutan vlogs and comment down how you feel. If you have any questions about visiting Bhutan, do drop your question in the comment section below. I'm active in the comment section and definitely would love to answer your questions. I hope I have covered some of the important points that you might have to know before visiting Bhutan. Happy traveling, safe traveling, and see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.